I'd like to welcome everyone to our council caucus. Those people in the audience as well as people at home who may be watching. And obviously, as we indicate, caucus is an opportunity for the council members to discuss individual agenda items, raise questions and ask questions, and render opinions and comments. To that end, the initial set-outs on the agenda are administrative up till number 5. So we will start with number 5. It's a communication from our Mayor Filo, who's present at our caucus this evening. Request City Council approve the attached proposal hiring Rotella Grant Management for $2,400 a month, $28,000 a year, plus incidental expenses. They would be our new grant writing and searching entity. We have had an individual who we used to rely on for our grant writing purposes and grant seeking purposes. However, that is no longer a viable option. And to that end, in discussing this with Mayor Filo, the current proposal seems to be more ideal to the extent that the firm is on a retainer. It is actually a firm whose only obligation is to write grants, search for grants, and they are staffed fully so that in the event the city or any department heads or council members need information, instead of relying on one individual who may be on vacation, may be ill, or whatever the case may be, this is a firm with fully staffed, as I indicated, who would be responsive to our needs and requests. To that end, any of the council members have any comments on item number 5?
Yeah, I do. I'm sorry, Mr. President. Who would be able to go to this firm and ask them for a grant? I mean, if I had a grant that I wanted written, can I call them up, or do we have to go through somebody here to do that?
I can advise it. I can't speak for on your behalf, but I can advise as to what other groups are doing. A lot of the other municipalities will invite the council members to suggest grants that they're interested in. You would then collectively approach the grant writer, discuss that opportunity, and they would advise you as to whether or not those are good opportunities. And then you as a council would then decide which ones to collectively approach.
Thank you, Jason. Any other questions? All right, moving on to communication from division department heads. Number 6, Director of Recreation, Brian Laxon, requests City Council approve attached lease agreement between Lackawanna and Varsity Gay League for use of Veterans Stadium on each Monday between September 21st and November 6th of this year. Pending proof of insurance, which would be forthcoming, we would make that a condition. Director Laxo, is there anything you wish to add? This is a yearly thing, is it?
Yeah, we've been doing this for the past 3 or 4 years with absolutely zero problems. It interferes with none of our regular programming, so we're happy to have them use our fields for the nominal fee.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions on item number 6, council members? Again, number 7, Director of Recreation, City Council approved attached request from Taylor Robinson, use Veterans Stadium for charity football, flag football on Saturday, August 26th, from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. Although it shows proof of insurance forthcoming, Director Laxo did provide proof of insurance. We do have a certificate, so that would no longer be a condition. Director, anything you want to add?
No, nothing that I could add more than the letter that Kaya Robinson sent herself. It doesn't eloquently outline. They had a family tragedy a few years ago, and she's tried to turn that into a positive charity event that could benefit some other youths in the community that shared her late son's love of flag football, and she's using this event to kind of as a springboard for that. So we're happy to help them.
Yeah, and she's done this in the city.
Yes, she has.
It's a very worthwhile purpose, though. Any council members have any questions? Item number 7, if not, moving to item number 8, Director of Purchasing, per Mayor I follow. Request City Council approve and authorize Mayor to sign and execute contract between the City of Lackawanna and Miracle Recreation Equipment Company to install playground equipment for the Franklin Street splash pad, $39,780, and additionally authorizing Vortex Aquatic Structures International for the installation and site work, again for Franklin Street splash pad for the sum of $237,734.71. In speaking with the Director of Purchasing, Mr. DiCometto, he did indicate that these monies had been approved and appropriated at a prior council meeting, so this is just designating the authority to sign the contracts to get this project moving. Mayor, do you have any comments on that or anything? Linda, anything on your end?
Nope.
Any questions by the council members on item number 8?
If I may.
Yes, go ahead.
Just want to add that I did on the actual agenda, break it down into a 2-part approval process, because I didn't want to tie it into one in case you were in favor of one and not the other. It makes it awkward. So during the actual meeting, it'll be a 2-part approval process if that's what you.
And Mr. City Clerk, we appreciate your doing that. It certainly does make it structurally more convenient for that very reason. Any council members have any questions? No, great. Number 9, again, from Director DiCometto, for Mayor I follow, request City Council authorize the mayor to sign and execute contract between City of Lackawanna and Galway Group for the installation of the Bethlehem Park Hockey Rink Complex for the sum of $119,800. Funding is comprised from a grant of $33,000 and ARPA funds of $86,000. Already been set aside. Any council members have any questions on item number 9? This had been the topic of prior council action. If not, then we'll move to item number 10 from our city clerk. Request City Council approve appointment of Mary Gullikson of 99 Caldwell Place to position of bingo inspector effective immediately. Term to expire December 31st, 2026. Mr. City Clerk?
Well, we're going to have to pull that item from the agenda. The woman that applied for this position did not realize that she couldn't continue to play bingo while she was an inspector. So she has decided she'd rather play bingo. She's not in. She's out.
Isn't there an exemption
Tough to
for
blame her.
that?
I tried.
I don't blame her.
Yeah, it's tough to blame her.
Okay, well, item number 10 is scratched. All right. Moving to item number 11 from our city clerk, request City Council approve attached amended proposal between City of Lackawanna and Edmunds GovTech for the installation and maintenance of computer software for the city clerk's office. Mr. City Clerk, you want to give us a brief synopsis of this?
All right, as you know, I've been researching this for quite a long time. I've been wanting to change the software. Stuff that we have now, I'm not going to get to the name of the program, but it doesn't function on newer software. I believe, Gene, it doesn't work with the Windows 10.
With new Office, Microsoft Office.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a very awkward situation. It's an old software. I canvassed area clerks and municipalities in the immediate area, and nobody uses that anymore. They all use the system that I put forth for you guys to review. And it's actually as much or less per year of maintenance than the current system we use, much more efficient and effective and user-friendly.
Thank you. I have a question though. And in the way the city clerk's office is organized now, when the city council passes resolutions and ordinances, they become effective. If we want to identify in the past a certain ordinance affecting whatever the business of the day of the city might be of concern, there is no cross-referencing or no method apparently that I'm aware of, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the staff of the city clerk's office can call up on a computer, so to speak, because it's cross-referenced, say, no parking ordinance for Abbott Road. What it's my understanding is what has to happen now is the staff of the city clerk's office has to physically go back and review all of the ordinances over a huge chunk of time in order to identify whether there is or there isn't an applicable ordinance affecting parking or no parking on Abbott Road. Is that accurate?
It is, that's one example. We get several requests where we ask for a timeline. You know, example, I'll give you an example. We had a question once regarding when did the city enter into a contract with the Erie County Sewer District
There you go.
to take over? And they said, oh, somewhere, in the 70s or 80s, and it's like, so then we've got to put the whole staff on the council meeting minutes and go through and try to find anything that was pertinent to that. That's just one example. I mean, that is true. And I did talk to Gene Oliveri about that. The only way to get around that is to put a system in place where you can search keywords.
Exactly, cross-reference.
And we don't have that ability right now. And if I happen to get a question where I can remember myself around what time that is, great. If it's prior to me or we get into the early 2000s or later than that, then it becomes real short.
And it could be something needed immediately for informational purposes. And we can't get that because of the physical limitations of having to have staff research it. I would suggest, I don't know how the rest of the council feels, but I would suggest someone be assigned in your office to see if there is software available so that all of this information can be entered, so that when we do need information through cross-referencing, it can be pulled up effectively and immediately. So
I don't disagree with you, but I will say the city would probably have to hire some interns or something because that's going to be a lot of data entry.
it would be.
It needs to be done.
It does need.
But yeah, it would be a lot of data entry. This system that we're proposing for the clerk's office, I gave you guys all the proposals. It deals mostly what we handle with at the counter, with marriage licenses, death certificates, dog licensing, stuff like that. That currently also uses an old system. Like we said, we've had issues trying to print reports with the current system because it wasn't compatible with the computers at the front counter. As far as what Windows systems or whatever software we had going on at the time, we were getting a lot of errors. We had to actually go back, I believe, and load the old system in. Is that true, Gene? To be able to accommodate the software system. We're going backwards, not forwards. We got to make a change. Like I said, this has been in the works for a while, and it just came to the point where it's like, well, we gotta get this done. We gotta bite the bullet.
So
I would think so.
the other question is, with the system that Linda purchased, that we're still working kinks out with, the question is, do you want your system from the clerk's office to be compatible with the new accounting program that?
Well,
we're
I think
working
when
with?
the other system was brought in, everybody should have been consulted, and we could have got together and came up with a system that works for everybody, but that wasn't done.
Well,
And,
maybe it's better to have the clerks, I mean, technically, the clerk is different from city offices, so maybe.
well,
it's
when you
better
say
to have
compatible,
something.
Linda, what do you think as far as compatible with what regard?
Well, it should integrate so that the data automatically is imported into the general ledger. I know that this program has been promising things to us for 3 years that I'm still trying to get them to deliver on. So I worry about that, especially with the,
Are you talking on the financial end?
I'm talking on all ends,
You know, they
especially
did-
with use of
I
credit
did
cards.
include, did you see that email I sent today?
I did.
And they do have, I don't know if that satisfies everything that you're looking for, but from the financials, we're supposed to have, here's what happened. Edmunds met with the municipal clerks in a conference in New York City, and they asked for suggestions as to what could be better about the Edmunds system. And almost unanimously, they said we need to have the financial ends be compatible with what the municipalities use, because right now, none of the BAS systems are compatible in that regard. And I was told that they have a gentleman now building a system. He expects to have it up and running in 2024 for that purpose. That does make it compatible because they didn't understand the urgency of it until they got together with all the clerks, and the clerks said, we gotta have this. And they said, okay. And I asked them for an email confirming that they are in fact working on it and when they expect to deliver this. And I did provide that. I've all gotten that today.
Now, this is an Edmunds product. Are we using Edmunds in the clerk's office or in the controller's office, Linda?
Currently, yes.
And we wanted to put in a new system, but that wasn't working out, correct?
We're still in the process of resolving some issues, Rick and I. With the new
So
system.
eventually, are we gonna continue with Edmunds, do you think, in the controller's office or not?
I don't think long-term.
So the new, program may eventually come
Not be,
online fully?
the new program?
Yes.
Yes, in some form.
Because I would think if Edmunds is doing the clerk's office, they already have a program in your office. I don't see why the two can't speak.
They don't speak because they're two completely different systems. And Edmunds purchased the BAS system, and they're completely incompatible at this point in time.
Okay. All right, given that, I think, hopefully I speak for the city council. I think for our purposes today, we need direction from you, Linda, and you, Jeff, as to what you want to see accomplished today. Do we want to move forward with this Edmunds as soon as possible, but taking care of this, or do we need more information? Where do we stand?
If I may, this has been ongoing in the clerk's office for a long time. And as I stated, the annual cost of maintenance for this software is the same or less than what we're using now. Is there a fee up front to transfer data and what have, yes, there is. But I don't mean to sound like I'm insensitive to the city budget, but you know, this program to get all the data transferred, to get everything installed, uploaded, what have you, is $22,000. To me, in the big picture, you know, we could have this program for 5, 6, 7, 8 years before this thing is squared away. If we don't, we're still operating software in the clerk's office that's outdated.
And that's the kind of information we need. Linda, anything that you'd like to say on that topic?
I'm just concerned about the promises that are made, as I've been working on having them deliver on those promises for, well, they installed the program in 2020, and it's still not working properly, so I'm worried about
You're talking about
that.
the treasurer's program for the
And,
tax
yeah,
program?
yeah, and the credit card program that the clerk's office is currently using. The BAS system wouldn't be compatible with that, would probably have different credit card processing fees. And if we're going to go to a different program, the one I had looked at did have a clerk's program integration with it. And I believe Mike from your office did come up when we had the demo for that and was very impressed with how it worked. I just don't know if the BAS system would be compatible if we went ahead with the conversion fully to the other program.
So if I might, I think with respect to your first concern, I think before you, when you commit to them, we can make, you know, we can specify what it has to do and get their assurance that it will do it. At least have that in writing.
I don't have a problem with that.
Right.
We did have a,
And as to the other issue, I think I'm gonna side with you a little bit. I don't know when everything's gonna be fully integratable, and for $20-some thousand to even get 5 years out of it or 4 years out of it, it's probably gonna be worth it. I think with our other issue, I think we gotta get everything else up and running, working for a couple years before you try integrating other, you know, everything else.
well, and again, this didn't just, I didn't just pick a name of a company out of a hat here. I mean, I canvassed
I understand.
Western New York.
I understand
They're
that,
all using
you
it,
know.
and they're all satisfied with it. They think it works great, including the city of Buffalo.
Okay.
So,
All right. Gene, you're the IT guy. Any comments on this?
I mean, I talked with them, I was in the meeting, it sounded like, you know, I was with Mike and Grace, they both liked everything they were saying, they were promising. I've heard about this company, they've done this first, I believe they did the tax program after, it was a new thing, this has been around longer, I believe it will work.
Do they have a local IT for troubleshooting purposes?
I dealt with it, Rochester,
Okay.
so, now I know they're trying to
Is
sell
there a
us.
response?
I know they're
time?
trying to sell us a program, so they're very quick, and they call back immediately, and I've got a great email thread going with them. Again, going back to my conversations with other municipalities, that's one of the questions I asked is, are you satisfied with it? Are they responsive? And, you know, I don't wanna say 80%, but I would venture to guess that's about the percentage of municipalities, if not higher, that are using it. And they've been using it for years. And I know they were taken over, and I know there's always gonna be some glitches when that happens, when another company comes in. But to this date, in conversations with the other clerks, they're still satisfied with it. And if they were having issues with the company getting back to them or leaving them in a lurch or not following up, I think they would have told them that.
How are the other municipalities working in their departments? Clerk's office and.
That I will tell you, I didn't ask because I didn't at the time understand that there was an issue there. It wasn't brought up until recently, and that's when I did send them an email saying I'm understanding that we're not compatible. You know, one admin system is not compatible with the other, and they did say that none of their systems talk to each other, so to speak. But again, every other municipality, I mean, they've gotten around it somehow. But you know, they're working
So I
on
know
it.
one of the issues, I believe with our current admin's product, is that anyone can get in there and change something. We talked about that, correct? And obviously, I don't know if I'd want it compatible with every other department from your perspective, if that possibility still exists. In other words, if it can be changed by anybody within your office, that's one thing, because you have 2 or 3 people working there.
Dick Mochi.
But
Don't believe so.
that's one thing they ask, I guess. But if it is compatible, and we get something that's compatible, and then it's changeable by anybody in any computer, you don't want that either. So I think it's just an issue that we need to address.
No, understood.
All right. Anyone else? If not, moving on to item number 12, communication from citizens. Brian Murphy requests City Council approve temporary street closure on Magnolia between Orleans and Lynn, Saturday, July 22nd, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. for a block party. Anyone have any comments on that? Okay. And moving on to item number 13, we will hear from Donna Slavonic. At that point of the meeting, when we're ready to entertain communications from citizens, and that'll be item number 13 towards the end of the meeting. And then as far as business registrations are concerned, Bernardo M. Schifano, DBA Schifano Transport, requesting business registration for 195 Lehigh Street. Any comments on that?
No, but I do want to go back to item number 11, exactly what are we going to be voting on? Do we know if, Chucky, do you want the program that you propose, or are you still going to do some more?
Well,
background?
from my perspective, okay, I know it's not compatible with everything that we want, you know, but it works for the clerk's office. So
Okay.
obviously, that's where I'm focused. I just know that the system that we currently use has been in place for many years, and when we go to update our software, you know, program on the computer, we can't all of a sudden use our office software because it's not compatible with the newer operating systems. It's like, well, okay, there's a problem here. Right, and my thinking is this, not to belabor this thing, but if down the road something better comes up, I don't think, you know, the initial expense that we're looking to spend here is some outrageous figure that, you know, we can't get around, but that's your guys' call.
All right, unless there's anything else, I'd like to formally call to order our city council meeting for May 10th, 2023. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. City Clerk, would you take the roll?
Absolutely, Mr. Council President. Councilman Muflahi.
Present.
Anderson. Here. Councilmember Moretti has been excused. Sirdike. Morano. Present. Department heads, law. Here. Development.
Here.
Public Works. Here. Public Safety. Here. Controller.
Here.
Recreation.
Here.
Public Information has been excused. The sheet sheet, anybody on it?
Yes.
Nope.
John Ingram?
John Ingram, 25 Church Street. I was listening to how you talked about, number 11, and what I really want to say is very shortly. We're about, in a couple of weeks, we're about to lose one of the, best city clerk person we ever had. And I say that, and I want to say it publicly, because it's a lot of work. All the clerk people do a lot of fine job, but particularly the stuff that's being done for this city by that individual needs to be recognized. I want to say personally thank you to Jeff Dugas, because when you look up information for us, you make sure that we all are on track, whether it's a citizen or it's the council, whatever. It's going to be greatly missed. So that's all I wanted to say, and thank you.
And thank you, John. We all feel the
Appreciate
same
that,
way.
John, thank you. All right, moving on, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of June 20th, 2023.
Right, almost to adopt minutes for regular meeting June 20, 2023 is written.
Maflahe seconds.
Motion by Morano, second by Maflahe to adopt the minutes of the regular meeting of June 20, 2023 is written. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Sirlik?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
3-4-0. Departmental reports 1 through 4.
Item was receive and file department reports 1 through 4 inclusive.
Maflahe seconds.
Motion by Morano, second by Maflahe to receive and file departmental reports 1 through 4. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Sirlik?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 4-0. Communications from the mayor, number 5. Mayor Iafallo requests the city council approve the attached proposal hiring Rotella Grant Management at a fee of $2,400 a month, which equates to $28,000 a year plus incidental expenses. This proposal includes grant research, grant writing, and grant administration.
Item moves to approve request.
A motion by Morano, second by Anderson to approve request. Muflahi?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 4-0. Communications from division department heads, number 6. Director of Recreation requests the City Council approve the attached lease agreement between the City of Lackawanna and Varsity Gay League for the use of Veterans Stadium on Mondays between September 21st, 2023 and November 6th, 2023 for the Kickball League. Proof of insurance is forthcoming.
Morano moves to approve request pending receipt of insurance.
Motion by Morano, second by Anderson to approve request pending receipt of insurance binder. Muflahi?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 4-0. Item number 7, Director of Recreation requests the City Council approve the attached request from Kaya Robinson to use Veterans Stadium for charity flag football event on Saturday, August 26, 2023 from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. Proof of insurance has been provided.
Morano moves to approve request.
Second. Sirdike.
Motion by Morano, second by Sirdike to approve request. Proof of insurance attached. Muflahi?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 4-0. Item number 8, Director of Purchasing. As per Mayor Iafallo, I request the City Council authorize the mayor to sign and execute a contract between the City of Lackawanna and Miracle Recreation Equipment Company to install playground equipment for the Franklin Street Splash Pad for the sum of $39,780, and additionally authorizing Vortex Aquatic Structures International for the installation of site work for the Franklin Street Splash Pad for a sum of $237,734.71.
Morano makes a motion to approve the installation of Franklin Street Splash Pad Playground Equipment by Miracle Recreation Equipment for $39,780, together with the approval of installation of site work for Franklin Street Splash Pad by Vortex Aquatic Structures International for $237,734.71.
Okay, so both requests, motion by Morano, second by Anderson. The first to approve the installation of Franklin Street Splash Pad Playground Equipment by Miracle Recreation Equipment for the sum of $39,780. And the second request to approve the installation of site work for the Franklin Street Splash Pad by Vortex Aquatic Structures International for the sum of $237,734.71. Muflahi?
Yes, on both.
Anderson?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Okay, both measured, carried 4-0. Item number 9, Director of Purchasing. As per Mayor Iafallo, I request the City Council authorize the mayor to sign and execute a contract between the City of Lackawanna and Galbo Group for the installation of the Bethlehem Park Hockey Rink Complex for the sum of $119,800.
Funding is comprised from a grant amount of $33,000 and ARPA funds of $86,800 that have already been set aside.
Maflahe moves to approve the request.
Anderson seconds.
Motion by Muflahi, second by Anderson to approve request. Muflahi?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 4-0. Item number 10 has been withdrawn. Item number 11, City Clerk, request the City Council approve the attached amended proposal between the City of Lackawanna and Edmunds GovTech for the installation and maintenance of computer software for the City Clerk's office.
Morano moves to approve request.
Anderson seconds.
Motion by Morano, second by Anderson to approve request. Muflahi?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 4-0. Thank you. Communications from citizens, number 12. Brian Murphy, resident, requests the City Council approve a temporary street closure on Magnolia Street between Orleans Street and Lynn Street on Saturday, July 22nd, 2023, between 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. for a block party. The event will include inflatables such as a water slide and bounce houses.
Morano moves to approve request, refer to public safety, refer to law, and refer to DPW.
Anderson seconds.
So I have a motion by Morano, second by Anderson to approve the request, refer to the Department of Public Safety, City Attorney, and the DPW for input. Muflahi?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 4-0. Item number 13, Donna Salonik, resident, requests to speak before the City Council at the regular meeting of July 10th, 2023. Issues to be discussed are as follows. The first is speeding motorists on Point Street, lack of police patrols, ATVs, motorbikes, etc. on Well Street, lack of police patrols, municipal codes 159.5 A, B, C, and C, clarification and police response, and number 4, lack of recycling bins.
Anyone coming forward to speak on that topic? If not, then for the record, John, you want to, as Director of Public Safety, just put something on the record on those items?
Yeah, for the motorists and the ATVs, I'll definitely, I already talked to Bill Kukulek and the chief regarding getting more patrols down Ingham to those side streets. I was speaking before the meeting. Last week, the police department did arrest several individuals and confiscated the total of 4 dirt bikes and an ATV. And within an hour after those things were confiscated and taken to Miller's Collision, the youths came back, snipped the fence with bolt cutters and stole them back. They were caught on video. The police department has since then confiscated the bikes and the ATVs again, and more charges are pending against those individuals. If they were adults, I would read off their names for the public record if we could, but I know we can't. But most of them were juveniles. There was a 17-year-old, and I think the other ones were about 14, 15 years old. But that's the attitude of some of these kids. And besides the 5 that were arrested, there was an additional, I believe, 8 to 10 that were just on the other side of the road, throwing obscenities at our police officers and kind of goating them on to come and chase them. So the guys are out there, they're working, trying their best to stop this, to arrest them without causing or chasing these kids. So we don't want to see anyone get hurt. If we could just send it out to the families, to the parents. You can't drive in the city. You can't drive an ATV unless it's registered. Dirt bikes, not on the tracks, not on abandoned roads, anything. Please tell your children not to do it. It's about the best. The police department is doing everything they can. Regarding the municipal code for loud music, it says clarification and police response. Police will respond to any loud music complaints that they are called to.
Doesn't the music have to end at a certain time?
Yeah, I believe it is until 11 p.m.
Yeah.
From 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. and then after 11 p.m. They can still play their music, but they have to lower it,
Right.
So no one else can hear it except the
Right.
people within that residence. So we get a phone call if they call the police department, we will respond.
Well, the City Council would like to extend our thanks to you as Director of Public Safety and to Chief Packard for the efforts of the police department Captain Kukulaka, for the efforts that are being put forth on these issues. So Morano moves to receive and file.
Maflahe seconds.
On the question? Maybe
Councilman
we
Cernak.
could, like, put something on Facebook or on a city website that we're gonna be cracking down on these people and, you know, put something out there, public information officer can put something out there.
Absolutely.
You know,
We'll get right on that. And just so you know, the people the youths that were arrested are not from the city of Lackawanna.
right.
They're all from the adjoining towns
Yeah.
around the
Put
area.
it out there that we're gonna start cracking down and I thought we're supposed to be looking into some laws that we can, a couple months ago, we were talking about, or a couple meetings.
Stiffer fines,
Oh, yeah.
things like that.
Buffalo, they keep the
Mhm.
bikes, they don't give them back, so they don't use them again, and fines or whatever.
And to that end, Councilman, I would ask, Rick, I know there's a ton of things on your plate.
Yeah.
Is there a way to check and see how we can strengthen our city code and ordinances regarding these kinds of offenses?
I'll look into that, yep.
To include both confiscation and substantial fines?
I mean, did you hear the one right recently up and down our street today?
Yeah.
It was about 3:30. It's all over the city, it's not just, I don't know where you guys get them.
Well, I think that's where drones can come in. Drones might be able to help us to at least identify the individuals.
Drones are limited for our city though, because they're only gonna go so far. And most of these, I shouldn't say all, I mean, I know there are some kids youths within our city that are just gonna drive back to their house. And for those, we could, but most of the youths that the police officers are running into, on the tracks and in that area are all from the south, further south and, different townships. The drones just ain't gonna go, like the city of Buffalo's, they're driving up and down the roads, they're droning them until they drive into their garage, and then they got the patrol ship meeting them there, which is easy, which is.
I'm
you know,
guessing
good for them.
these don't have license plates and anything
None
like
of
that.
it, nothing to identify, and again, not to keep belaboring the point, but, I mean, they actually will stop and try to goad police officers into chasing. They'll just,
So they can video it or do whatever
Yeah.
they want.
Well, I
just
remember
total disregard.
several years ago, our detective Petrus was injured on the railroad tracks behind our house because he was trying to enforce that. And there were people from out of our jurisdiction, but they actually caused him physical injury.
And they actually, the railroad that owns, they put up a big fence and close everything off, and within a day, it was cut open. They went to Miller's Collision about an hour or two after they got their bikes confiscated and stole them back.
Wasn't someone seriously injured off of South Park a couple years ago as well?
Right.
Trucks got stuck there in the field.
All right, sorry, I interrupted our vote here.
You're good, you're good. We have a motion by Morano, second by Muflahi to receive and file this communication. Muflahi,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Sirleaf,
Yes.
Morano.
Yes.
Carried 4-0. Business registrations, Bernardo M. Schifano doing business as Schifano Transport, which is a car and RV transporter, auto repair and detail shop, 195 Lehigh Street.
Randall moves to approve business registration.
Maflahe seconds.
Motion by Morano, second by Muflahi to approve the business registration. Muflahi,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Sirleaf,
Yes.
Morano.
Yes.
Carried 4-0. Council President.
Thank you, Mr. City Clerk. I don't have anything regarding table or old business. I don't know if any of the council members do. If not, then I would like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting. However, we are here to take this opportunity to congratulate our city clerk on his retiring. And I'm sure what would be appropriate to say at this time will occur to me after it's too late to say it. But Jeff, I know I speak for the city council. We cannot thank you enough for the years of your service. Not only have you done it in an exemplary fashion, but you did it with our with the city's welfare at heart, with our individual reputations and welfare at heart. You looked out for us, you protected us against making mistakes that weren't obvious to us, but you as our city clerk, it was obvious to. You are, in fact, a student of government, and we congratulate you for that, and we thank you for that. You have accomplished what very few people in your position have been able to accomplish, to the extent that you anticipated the problems that we may experience as a city council, as individual members, and you always were a step ahead of us, so that we knew in advance whether we were treading on thin ice or inappropriate grounds or whatever the case may be. And there is no way to thank you for that, other than to say from the bottom of our hearts, we wish you Godspeed, we wish you health and happiness in your retirement, and you know you will be missed.
Well, Mr. Council President, I appreciate that.
I'm not done. To that end, we have gotten a little something for you. This is the best way we can show our appreciation for a job amazingly done, and we thank you, Jeff. Can't put it into words enough.
Again, I appreciate it. Obviously, you have to do that.
I wrapped that myself.
Did you? I don't think
No, I
so. But, no, I appreciate it, and I told you guys before, gals, illuminating that by that. But this council's been a pleasure to work with. I've worked with a few now, and they've all been good. But this particular council has been, a good sounding board for me and very responsive to what I've asked. Great to work with. Even tonight, when I needed that item, I appreciate that. You went ahead and improved that, and I feel good about that because I'm leaving it for my successor, and I wanted to have that in place. So I do feel good about that. But nothing more to say except good luck in the rest of your careers. And
Well, we would like to thank you, at least for the round of
I appreciate everything. It's been great.
Another speech, you know.
Department heads too. Department heads have been great. It's been a good ride, but we're done now. So with that, we have a motion by Morano. I don't have a second. So I have a motion by Morano, second by Muflahi to adjourn the meeting. Muflahi,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Sirdike,
Yes.
Morano.
Yes.
Carried 4-0. Thanks all.